So,
Okay. So,
welcome to episode 4.
Episode 4. Wow. Yes.
What a waste of life. So today we're going to be talking about our most memorable moments.
Oof.
Happy, sad. I guess we can go through the whole
You want to go
the whole spectrum.
You want to go through the entire thing like that?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, okay, people. You're going to
catch some feels or you're going to laugh a lot.
You're going to catch feelings.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
We'll see.
You might cry or you might just say, these.
I have a kid coming. Near you.
This is fucking delicious. By the way, cheers.
Cheers.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Fuck.
Of...
Huh?
Pendejos.
With Marco and Carlos.
So, who wants to start?
Jeez. Okay, so what are we starting with? Good or bad?
I don't think it matters. Actually, you know what? I'll start because I have a funny story that...
Okay, go for it.
So today, at work, during our morning meetings and stuff, we were just talking. And then, so my work, we would go around, travel and train clients and whatnot.
Okay.
And we were just remembering stuff that happened when we used to be able to do that before COVID and stuff. So, I have the worst luck. Even if it's not my cars, it's planes. So I got stranded in Vancouver. I got stranded in Boston. I get stranded wherever. But
so what mechanical things don't seem to want to just deal with you, huh?
Right, and I love that shit. So there was this one time where we went to Austin, Texas. We were training a client there, and me.
So you've been around.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So me and my buddy that I went with, the client gave us a list of places to stay.
Okay.
And typical, my buddy, he just picks the first one on the list.
Okay.
So it was the Austin Motel.
Okay.
All right, so I get there before him, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. That sign looks a little bit, okay, whatever. It's just a sign. All right.
Oh, no.
Get the keys. I'm like, this key looks kind of weird, whatever. Get into the room, I'm like, there's a lot of, it's just stuff. Whatever. Then my buddy gets in. He calls me. He's like, hey, man, is there anything weird about your hotel room? I'm like, yeah, there's my towel hook is a dick. Everything.
Thick?
A dick.
A dick?
Everything in this hotel are dicks. Are we in a gay hotel? So, I wish, I'll pre-post it, but show pictures of the place. So the sign, Austin Motel, it's nuts and a dick. In my mind, I thought it was just a key, right? Because I'm just trying not to make it seem like it's... So, dude, everything. Dicks everywhere. The phone's a dick. Hooks are dicks. Everything's a dick. I'm like, but the place was sick, though.
Oh, my God.
It was right, close to the strip, where you can go where all the bars are. Sick place. But it was just funny, because, it was just dicks everywhere. And it was just so, gay and hipster. So... Wow. So then, it's funny because then I walk outside. It's fucking hot, right? And then I look at the pool. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is gay. So this guy just they're like, yeah, come join us.
You're like,
I was like, I gotta work, but maybe later. But it was just funny because it was just.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not that I'm homophobic or anything.
He's not.
It was just funny because I'm like, I didn't want to think.
Yeah.
Oh, this is dicks everywhere.
So you didn't want to be like,
Yeah. I don't even know
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just. I wasn't trying to be if it was dicks, I wouldn't want to be here. No, I would just.
No.
I wasn't thinking about dicks, really. But it was trying to make me think about this. But I'm like, nah.
You're like,
It's just a giant key.
It's just a giant key.
But if you look at the picture, dude, honestly, it looks like it's... You know what? Here, I'll fucking just pull up the picture here so you can see it. It's so fucking funny.
Holy shit, you never told me that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so, that's one of the funny... that's one of my most memorable moments at work. God. Because it was just... And it was so much fun. The hotel, it was sick. We went to the strip. We even ended up at a show there. It was fun. It was great. I love Austin. Honestly, if I was ever going to move to the States, it'd probably be Austin.
Austin, Texas? Oh, yeah.
It's the tech city there, right? A lot of companies have their head office there because cheaper taxes and stuff. But it's just beautiful. It's honestly, it's beautiful. Like the hotel we were like staying at, it was like a beautiful bridge going across, right? And there's a bunch of people on their boats, and that takes you into like downtown basically.
Really?
So that's where you start seeing all the buildings, and then you hit the I think it's called 9th Street or something, where you just it's so nice. Like there's all these bars open, and people are like trying to haggle you to come in. Like, hey, yeah, come into our bar. So whatever. I just went to every bar and was stumbling around, but it was great.
You were discombobulated by the end of it, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You see, I have a lot of friends in America, which I haven't met yet, but I intend to, and they're all in Texas, but different parts of Texas. And from what I've seen of Texas, it looks nice. You know, like it looks really nice. Of course, their government's fucked up, but you know, that's politics aside, right? The place itself looks very beautiful, and there are a lot of places in Texas that I would love to see, just historically, you know.
I can't find it right now, but
yeah, we'll deal with it later.
oh yeah, I'll fucking show. But it was so funny. It was a great experience too, just being there. Like the client was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience. So
That's
it was just one of the funniest things that's happened to me at work. So there's one like memorable thing about.
Okay. All right.
I think that was one of the last places I went to too before this whole shit.
Before COVID decided to destroy the
I
fucking
think
world.
so. I think so. Think so.
Holy shit! You never shared that with me. That's awesome.
Yeah, and again, it was just funny because when we were talking in the meeting, like we started talking about like memories, and I'm like, fuck, I'm like, that's so funny. I'm like, we're talking about stuff like that on our podcast today, so it was funny. So
That's epic.
yeah,
Awesome. Now for me, one of the funniest moments that I've ever had at work. Oh my fucking god! So these kids, right? They will say the most fucked up shit to you, and you can't laugh because it's not professional, right? But some of these kids say the not the meanest, but they're so creative with the way that they try to insult you that it's funny. It's fucking hilarious. Now, if you're a weak pussy, it's gonna make you cry or it's gonna hurt your feelings. But since I don't have a soul, you know, I think it's just fucking hilarious. So one time, one of these kids was really pissed off at this chick, this white girl, and another staff member, and he was just dissing her, just dissing her. And then he's like, oh, you fucking fat bitch, look at you, you look like a motherfucking Ninja Turtle. And the thing is that the bitch did look like a Ninja Turtle.
oh fuck, it sucks to suck. That sucks.
So I'm there just I had to walk away because I was just dying on the inside because I couldn't laugh. And I couldn't laugh at the poor girl. You know what I mean? But, you know, she kind of looked like a motherfucking Ninja Turtle. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I have to walk away.
I have to show you a meme. It's Goku Black. Where he just has a stupid smirk on his face, and someone kind of made a meme up, like saying like when someone insults you, and it's something you've never heard before. It's just like,
yes, I saw that one today, and I was like, that's perfect.
It is. It's like it's good. I've never heard that one before. That's fucking great. Like holy shit.
Oh my god! But there have been many times that I had to walk away from like kids because they're so funny when they're trying to just fucking diss you. There was one time this one fucking kid, he was just trying to lay. The thing is, what most workers there that have been there for a long time are kind of like me or worse. They don't get fazed by anything that people say to them or the kids say to them because they've heard it all. But this one time, it was so funny that me and her name was, no, you know what, I can't say that. Yeah, me and her, it was so funny because the kid's diss was so like, how do, you know, okay, so he goes to me. He's like, oh, look at you. He's talking to her. You fucking white bitch, and you and your fucking 80s porn hair. And then he looks at me, and he's like, you fucking wetback. And I was like, so we looked at each other, and we started to laugh. We're like, how do you know what 80s porn hair looks like? Like, what porn are you watching? You know what I mean? And I'm like, wetback? I haven't heard that since the 90s. What the fuck?
What is that?
A wetback. That's like a term that they call, like, you know, mostly Mexicans, but like, you know, Latin people that because when you're coming illegally into the United States from Mexico, there are rivers that you're swimming. You know what I mean? And
Gotcha.
as you're swimming, you come out of the river and your back is wet, or it's also because you're fucking sweaty. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's where that term comes from. It's a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just like I haven't heard that. Like I legit hadn't heard that since the 90s. And I was like, how do you even fucking know what that is? Like this was at the time it was 2016. I was like, how do you even fucking know what that is? 80s porn hair. What kind of fucked up porn are you watching? Like, and then I looked at her. I'm like, holy shit, your hair does look like this fucking porn hair is like this fucking big.
She hot?
Huh?
She hot?
No, man.
Never mind then.
No, man. It was like, you know, she was a middle-aged, big 40-year-old woman. You know?
Okay, well, middle age doesn't matter. I mean, it's just...
Well, I'm middle-aged now, so it's this.
Not my type. People.
I don't mind. It doesn't bother me.
That's because that's what you are.
Huh? Listen.
No, you're not. You just...
I need someone that's bigger to be able to withstand my power.
Alright, back to memories.
Memories.
So yeah, the Ninja Turtles porn,
Oh God.
Wetback, Brokeback Mountain.
Like that was
Movie that kid's watching.
right. And that was one of the most, not most, but there's been a lot at that place. But one of the ones I can think of right now. And it was just because they're so creative, and I'm just like, wow, if you would actually put all that creativity to good use, you know, you would actually have a career in something. But here we are. Moving on from emotions. Which other emotion do you want to evoke? Because
I don't know, kind of sticking to work and funny. There was another time where I was managing stores, and Karen
Karen
came in.
Oh my!
So typical, no receipt. I want my money back. Yeah, it had the tags on. They didn't look used, but
It had the tags on.
yeah.
Okay.
But no receipt. But I mean, like, those gloves are clearly from last year,
Oh.
and she wanted her full money back.
Oh.
So she didn't know I was the manager. So she walks into the store. Normal at first, and then starts getting a little aggressive. She's like, I want to return these. And I'm like, do you have the receipt? She's like, no. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I can give you exchange, or if you want your money back, I can give you what they're worth now. First, they were like, the gloves were like $100 because they had like fur on them, and then they were worth like $39. She's like, no, I want the full thing. Can I speak to your manager? I'm like, yeah, okay, hold on. Walked into the back room, walked out. I'm like, how can I help you?
No, you fucking did it.
And the best part is she smirked. She smirked, and she's like, God damn it. You can tell that she's like, fuck, that was pretty good.
That's fucking funny.
How can I help you? And she's like, you know what the hell I'm like, I was told to come outside. How can I help you? So I made her repeat herself. I'm like, yeah, you were told that you would get what it's worth, or we can give you value and just whatever, like, go buy something else. So like she's bickering back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, like, this is bad customer service, blah blah. I'm like, these are last season, from last year, like not this year, last season. Like, this is last year's season. Like, you're lucky I'm even helping you. I'm like, these are your options, and if you have a problem, here's my district manager's number.
Oi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sold her a jacket.
Your ability to hustle is fucking fantastic.
See, because I was just playing her game. Then after, I'm like, okay, here. I think we started off at the wrong foot. Let me show you this jacket.
Wow, man, that takes some serious skill to be able to just like that.
And I literally sold her the same gloves, like the new season ones.
You sold them to her.
Different colors, matches the jacket she bought.
Oh.
But it was just funny in my mind, because it's like, I hate it when people are like, what's your manager? Mostly because I have to end up coming out to tell them exactly the same thing that I trained my team to say.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to come out and say it. I don't know what people think is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Again, I'm so happy now that this whole people are recording this stuff now and actually showing how shitty people are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's good because it's showing all these companies like, like your employees have to put up with a lot of bullshit, and like siding with the customer who's spending like, it doesn't matter what they're spending, to be honest, they're a customer, but it's the customer's not always right, and I hate that so much when and every time someone ever brought up whether it was training me, I'd be like, no, they're not always right,
no,
because I'm not gonna sit there and take
abuse.
Essentially what it is. So I'm actually happy that all these videos and stuff are coming out of people showing how fucking crazy people are. And if it was one thing that, people look down on people who work in retail, who work in any fucking industry that people deem not. But again, a little off topic, but it goes back to like what we talked about before, when it's like, yes, there's entry-level jobs. It's for kids, right? People who don't have any experience. But this doesn't mean you can't turn it into a career, right? I started selling, and I worked my way up. And all these people who probably think, oh, you work in a retail store, bitch, I probably make way more money than you.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea how much money is in retail. And it's actually ridiculous how much money is in retail, any type of retail. But it's insane, and I always find it funny because you're insulting my job, yet you're shopping at my store. So you can't afford to go somewhere else.
So what are we doing?
Right? You're saying like you're literally buying at a place that's cheaper than a place you can't afford. Then I go again.
I think that's a societal problem where it's like you tend to look down on certain industries. Like for example, I was having a conversation with this. At the time I was in college, and she was just shit talking people that work in waste management, like garbage men, right? And just talking shit. Oh, you don't want to grow up to be a garbage man. Nobody wants to be a garbage man. And I was like, but do you realize that that they make like 60,000, sometimes more than
starting.
Yeah, like starting. I'm like, so why are you like talking shit about? And I was telling her, I'm like, in our industry, what we're getting into,
you're the garbage man.
Like at the time, we weren't making as much as we were now, right? So we were making half of what they were making. So it's just like, so what are you exactly shitting on? Right,
like you're literally the garbage man of your job, like your industry, like you're the garbage man that you're talking down to. You're like.
But it's just like, she was just kept looking at them like, like they were garbage. And I'm like, no, like you can't. It's that superiority complex a lot of people carry with them. And it's also carried all through industry. At one point in time, being an actor was considered being less than anything. Like if you were an actor, you were considered garbage. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's an actor. Ugh. Like nobody wanted to be that. Not everybody wants to be in fucking entertainment, not him, only porn.
No. Like, I mean, there's people want to be the good actors.
So my dog had her screen debut today, and now she's getting a commercial thrown at her. The fucking bitch. Good for her. And apparently she's a dog. She's a better actress than I am.
No one wants to be. See, people look down on actors like you.
What if I was blonde?
I didn't look like this, then yeah, everyone wants to be that actor.
Fuck, you kidding me? Another audition came in today, and it's for, guess what? Police officer security guard role. And I'm just like, oh Christ. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to start turning this shit down.
No,
I'm gonna have to.
Why?
Because
you're not gonna have anything.
It's getting fucking irritating, to be honest with you. And it's just like, come on, man, give me something substantial. But anyways, getting back to emotions and shit.
Well, that's an emotional, memorable moment when your dog is better than you. Like you've been doing this for. It's like his first date, and he already has like fucking 3 shows lined up for it.
I know, it's ridiculous. I love it. Good for Nova.
Yeah. What is it?
What
kind of dog is it?
She is a red fox retriever.
So that's the equivalent of a white male.
She's female. So she's a white woman.
White woman.
White woman.
There you go. Even in the animal industry, guys.
You're a blonde bitch. You get shit handed.
So she brought her her pet to the shoot.
Ooh, girl. You know what? He's such an asshole. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's just my owner pet, man.
He doesn't count.
Keep your eyes on me.
She even got a fucking close-up, which was hilarious. I'm like, look at you, you little diva. I think it's great, you know.
That is great. Runs in the family.
Good for you, Nova. I was like, yay.
That was supposed to be your role?
Whatever, man. I was like, go on with your rude self. Yes, girl. Go make me some money so I can buy your kibble, bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, fuck that. It's not free. Food's not free. That bitch is gonna learn.
Well, now that she can work. Now you gotta pay, bitch.
Fuck. What else?
Let me see. I don't really have much fond memories from work.
It doesn't have to be work. It can be anything.
Oh, man.
Anything.
Well, okay. One of my happiest memories, and yeah, oh fuck. So this is when I was like, I think either 3 or 4 years old. My mom, she had what was it? Hernias. Like the hernias that she had in her back had like spread, and it basically was like tendrils that were going across her spine like that, right? And they had to operate to remove those things, to remove them, because she was at risk of not being able to walk anymore. And all this happened because when she was a teenager, she got thrown from a horse.
I remember this story.
Yes. So she got thrown from a horse, and she never told an adult. She never told anyone. She just, like, you know, she just powered it.
But
right?
she didn't tell anybody because... She didn't tell anybody because it was, don't go do it.
Of course.
Don't fucking do it. And then the fear... our grandmother was fucking scary.
And she was scary. And back in her village, you know, the beatings, like, let's not even pretend.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and that's kind of like the sad part where, like...
Yeah, right? Like, she could have avoided stuff later on in life if she wasn't afraid of the reaction that came from it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so because of that, she ended up having trouble in her... Mom was, she was, at the time, she would have been about either 24 or 26. She wasn't even even middle-aged, you know what I mean? So she was at risk of being, like, put in a wheelchair because these things had gotten
like paralyzed?
Paralyzed, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
And because her spine was just a fucking mess, and all these things were all over it. So the doctors decided that the best way to either deal with it is either to operate it and to remove them one by one and take all those little tendrils out and just see if the body, because she was young, that the body can heal, because when you're younger, your body just bounces back, right? But there was always that chance that she was going to be left in the wheelchair, right? So I remember that, you know, seeing her in the hospital all fucked up and messed up, and seeing her in pain and stuff, and not being with her, because my dad was with her too a lot, right? So I was at grandma's house. Like I spent a whole, I guess it must have been a month or 2 months there, but you know, you're a little kid, so it seemed like an eternity, right? And I remember I either didn't pay attention, or I wasn't aware that she was coming home and that she was recovered enough. And I remember that I was outside in front of grandma's house, and we were playing with some toys. And I remember just seeing her just walking down the street, and it was just her smile, you know? And it was the most beautiful thing. And I'm like, oh. And I remember running to her, and it was like, and that memory is like, it's so vivid and it's so strong. It's like, it's one of the most wonderful things that when I think of joy, you know, that's where I go. And yeah, this got emotional real quick.
Fuck, that almost made me cry.
You know, because, yeah, you know, just seeing her in pain and then just seeing her smile and, you know, be happy and just hug me. Oh, man. Yeah, that's one thing that I'll never forget. And I hope that if I ever have memory problems, at least I don't forget that, you know.
I'll remind you.
Yeah, please.
I'll reenact it with Pepe.
Oh, Pepe, he needs to come onto this podcast. Pepe's our cousin. We love him.
Pepe's gonna be you, though. I'll be your mom.
That's funny.
If it breaks my back jumping on me, no, baby, no.
Ah, poor Pepe. But yeah, that's one of the most beautiful memories that you know that I. It's always gonna be there. You know what I mean? And I always go back to it. Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
It's
a strong memory. So, and the thing is, like, being an actor, you kind of have to use stuff like that. And when you go to
see, and that's interesting because you use a happy thought to make yourself sad in a scene.
No, not necessarily.
No,
no.
like so, if you have to cry, like you don't think like.
No, not that.
No.
No. I guess I could, but I use worse things.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But I mean, when I have to show extreme joy or like complete elation, that's where I go, right?
So you're not a real actor.
No, because
a real actor can use a happy thought to be like.
Because it's fucked up when you want to confuse your sense memory like that.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, because it's a happy thought to evoke sadness.
But you're acting.
I know, but I'm saying it's where the mental confusion can come from. You know what I mean? And I'd rather not use
normalize it, and then it becomes like it's not even. It's not even.
No, you know what I mean. When I want to go to a really fucked up place, obviously I think about my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that evokes all kinds of just emotions, and then they're real, right? Like.
So again, kind of off topic, but the memory thing. But so you mentioned that it can fuck you up thinking of something happy that makes you cry because you're happy. But so when you're acting and you think of something sad to make you sad, does it not fuck with you in a way where now you're in a mood where you're sad?
See,
and then do you ever like stay in that sadness even though like the scene's done, but like just thinking about it? Does it like ever cause
that is a danger that a lot of actors have to go through, but the thing is, you learn how to just let it go. You know what I mean? You just let it go. The problem is that some people can't, and they dwell on it, and then they stay there, and then that's why you see a lot of these really good actors go through emotional problems because they get stuck.
And that's why my brain went to like maybe I assume. Which is my bad, that to get sad you think of something that makes you sad, but it gets you in that emotional state where you cry and then you act within that emotional range you put yourself in. So at least you can act sad, but you're not at least you're not putting yourself in a
I see what you
in like a like a sad, and then you kind of just stay, and then.
But the thing is, for me, I can let it go. It doesn't I don't stay in it. And as a matter of fact, I can just let it go just like that so quickly that it's freaky. Because I filmed a scene with Millie one time. Millie came over, and so she was my reader because the scene was with two people, but they just wanted to film me. So she was reading the scene opposite from me. You know what I mean? So I went to that dark place, you know what I mean? Thinking about this, thinking about that, and just, And the scene came out amazing. And we did the scene, I did my whole shebang. And really emotional, and then the scene ended, and then I was in fucking tears, and then right from there I went, and scene. And she was like, because she was still filming, she was like, Jesus Christ, like, what is wrong with you?
See, even right now, I thought you were going somewhere dark with this. I was crying. I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
But for me, that's how I am. And a lot of people think, well, maybe I'm disturbed. And maybe I am. Or some people would think that I'm a functional psychopath.
See,
that
maybe.
That these emotions are not real. that I'm masking. I'm like, they're real.
It's kind of what we were saying before. It's logic, right? Like you've thought about things to the point where you know why, right? And that's the important part, right? Like, you know why you can do it. It's not just like just because. No,
there's reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, when I want to show extreme sadness, I think about my dad, and I think about all the suffering that he went through, and it does, fuck me up, but it only fucks me up for that moment, right? Because the way that I think about it is, yeah, he suffered, and he suffered with ALS, and ALS destroyed and ravaged his body. Who he was a very strong, happy individual, and ALS fucked him up. And he died from it. But in seeing him go through that, I saw him, you know, exhibit so much strength, so much more strength than I would have been able to deal with. Like, show.
So I'm gonna.
Hang on. Just let me finish my thought. And then, and it's just like, so. But I know that it came to an end. You know what I mean? Like, he died. You know what I mean? And he died in his sleep, which was peaceful. So, knowing that I believe that he's in a better place and he's not suffering anymore. To me, that's the end of it. You know what I mean? He lived his life. It was a pretty tragic end to it, but it came to an end. And it's not sticking in that, dwelling in that, right? Because that's where you get damaged, because people don't move on, right? And I know that because I think on a more logical scale than I guess a lot of people do, that I was able to process it easier, and not easier, but faster, right? And I think that I managed to help my mom and my siblings go through it better, because it's not that I was fine, it's just that I was better quicker. You know what I mean? Because it's just that's how it worked for me. So I can incorporate that into my acting as well, right? And I can use these emotions. The way that I see it, to be honest, and it's fucked up as a lot of people might think that this is, what happened to him in the end ended up being kind of like an emotional gift for me. Because now I can just, like that, you know what I mean? And I can go there, and I can release it, It's fucked up, and I don't like saying that out loud, but it's the truth. There have been many times in many different scenes where I've had to go, like, extreme like that. And that's where I go, right? I go there, and it's so real and so raw, especially because it's only 6 years. Fuck, you know what I mean? But, like our acting instructor would tell us that you shouldn't be using things like that. But I think that it hasn't damaged me yet, because I'm able to just let it go. And I let it go almost instantaneously, to the point where I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. I walk out of that audition room and I'm fine. And if not, drugs, alcohol, sex.
So it's interesting that you said that, because my next memory was actually, and I'm not just gonna say this because of what you said, and
No.
because it's you.
No. Say your truth.
I think you're discrediting yourself on how strong you are, because one of the memories that I have, and something that inspired me and actually made me pursue what I want, regardless of any obstacle in the way. And really, that came from you. And it was when you got really sick, and you were told by every doctor, this is it, this is what's gonna happen, you're not gonna walk. What did you do?
Fucking walk.
That, honestly, watching you do that, for me, has been one of the biggest inspirations for me. And all I took from that was, look what he went through. Look at all the shit he had to go through, and he's still trying. He's still trying to be a good actor. But you didn't let it stop you. And honestly, for me to see that, like, it really did push me to be like, things happen.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't try, and if you don't keep pushing yourself, then it's not gonna happen. Yeah. And really, that's where my mentality of, you don't deserve shit. You earn everything you have in life. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, and then when you said that, like, oh, what you're saying about your dad, like, don't disregard the fact that you went through something fucked up, and you had the strength to go through it. So yes, maybe you did get through it faster and stronger, but because you've literally gone through something, and you came out of that, you were already a strong person, And you came out an even stronger person from that, because you really had to be strong to even consider doing and telling the docs basically in their face, fuck you, I'm gonna walk. Like, don't fucking tell me.
Yeah.
So.
See, the thing is, I tend to forget that. I mean, it's not that
Dude, you walk like a robot every day. What do you mean? How do you forget?
That's the thing, right? But the thing is, it's 20 years ago now. Like, it's been 20 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I tend to, unless I actually think about it. And that's the thing. Like, see, when I go dark, I don't go to there. Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, I don't actually go there, and I could actually.
See, and it's funny because that's where I would go, not to abuse your sickness, but whenever I felt like, you know what, like giving up or whatever, I think that like Carlos did it. He's still fucking kicking. He's walking like a robot, mind you, but he's walking. and honestly, like that was a big inspiration for me, right? And people shouldn't look at things that people do regardless if they're family or not. If they're like, doesn't matter who it is. If you know them, and like, I would say you have to know them for it to actually mean something to you. But take examples from wherever, and that for me, that memory of you telling me, doctor said never gonna walk, or this is gonna be you. Like, no, I remember you specifically telling me, no, fuck that. I'm gonna show them, and well, here you are, walking.
Here I am 20 years later.
Walking, still trying to act, and
running, exercising,
dude,
leg exercises.
You're not gonna walk. You're fucking running, dancing, putting all this gay shit on fucking Instagram.
Social media.
Honestly, like that for me, like that's something I'm never gonna forget. And I don't want to thank you for getting fucked up, but like, thank you for being you, and like just a strong individual who you don't let, you know, it'll hurt, and yes, but you don't let shit get to you in a way where that's it, you know, you shut down completely forever, right? So
I remember I remember, now that you brought that up, holy shit, like
the Terminator story.
No, now that I had like